Section 1. The moment you say nothing, and everything changes approximately 5,000 words, hook plus world building, plus tone setting opening scene. The room, after she left there. Room is still. Not just quiet, but still. That eerie, hollow kind of stillness you feel after an emotional storm. No yelling, no closure, no apology. Just gone. Her toothbrush still rests on the sink like forgot she left. Your phone hasn't buzzed. Not even once. You sit on the edge of your bed, staring at the last message you didn't send. The one where you almost broke. The one where you almost begged you, delete it. Not out of pride, but because something inside you has finally shifted. What if saying nothing is the most powerful thing you'll ever say? Let's get real. You were always there. You gave her access to your emotions, your time, your presence. When she was distant, you leaned in. When she pulled away, you followed. When she shut down, you opened up. You thought if you just loved harder, she'd see your worth. You thought your effort would matter. You thought vulnerability would win her back. But it didn't. She left, not with tears, not with guilt, but with indifference. And that's what broke you, but not in the way you. Think the psychology behind her exit. She didn't leave because you lacked value. She left because she thought she had. You figured out you were predictable, you were safe, you were always available. And when someone thinks they've mapped your entire emotional terrain, when there's no mystery left to chase, you stop feeling pulled. That's not a flaw in you, that's human psychology. Predictability isn't peace, too. It's a chaotic heart. It's boredom. And in relationships, boredom is the kiss of death. But then something happens. You go quiet, not in a passive-aggressive way, not as a tactic, but because you're done bleeding for someone who never brought bandages. You go silent, not out of spite, but out of sovereignty. No more late-night texts, no more stories posted, just to be seen, no more just checking in messages that betray your pain. And suddenly, she notices the void. She feels the vacuum you left behind. She starts to wonder, did I lose him? Is he really gone? This isn't about revenge. It's about reclamation. Let's get one thing straight. You're not doing this to make her miss you. You're not ghosting. You're not playing cold-hearted games. You're reclaiming your peace, your emotional sovereignty, your power. 3 things you sacrificed trying to keep someone who was already halfway out the door. This is not revenge. This is rebirth, and it begins the moment you stop fighting for someone who stopped choosing you, the cold reality. Most men collapse. Here they reach out, they overshare, they spiral in the silence she left behind, trying to fill it with texts, stories, gym selfies, or forced positivity. But a stoic man? He leans into the void. He doesn't chase closure. He doesn't try to fix what doesn't want to be fixed. He lets silence speak for him, and in doing so, he becomes something she never saw coming, untouchable. Introducing the Stoic framework that changes everything. What you're about to learn isn't pickup psychology. It isn't manipulative dating advice. It's not a trick to get her back. It's a mental shift. Full rewiring of your approach to heartbreak. Attachment and identity. 10 powerful transformations, grounded in Stoic philosophy. Dark psychology, an unshakable masculine energy that will turn your silence into a language she can't stop hearing. This is about becoming the man who doesn't flinch, the one who doesn't argue, the one who doesn't need to be understood to be powerful. This is the beginning of your new chapter, one where you are no longer the one who got hurt. You become the one she can't stop thinking about, foreshadowing the unseen ripple effect. Now, she doesn't see it. She thinks it's over. She thinks she won, but the silence is just beginning to work. Every day you don't text, the confusion grows. Every post you don't like, the doubt expands. Every moment you don't react, the illusion that she had control cracks. And while she's busy wondering what happened to the version of you she used to manipulate, you're busy building someone she'll never get access to again. This isn't ego, it's evolution section. 2. Stillness is authority shifts 1, 2, 3, 5,000. Words emotional depth plus early shifts plus SEO-rich insight. Shift 1. Stillness is authority. Let's get something straight right now. Stillness is not weakness. It's not passivity. It's not giving up. Stillness is composure under fire. It's restraint in chaos. It's the ability to sit in your emotions, fully feel them, not be controlled by them. Most men, when abandoned, lash out, they cry, beg, plead. They type messages at 3 a.m., they'll regret at 7. They overthink, over-explain, overshare. Why? Because their identity was built around her attention. When that attention disappears, so does their center. But the stoic man, he feels the storm, but he doesn't flinch. He watches the silence settle, but he doesn't react. He knows that sometimes the most dominant force is the one who doesn't move at all. Why stillness works on her psychology. Let's break it down in psychological terms. When a woman ends things and you go quiet, not out of rage, not out of ghosting, but out of genuine detachment, interrupt her emotional pattern. She expects a reaction, a breakdown, a plea for closure, a last-ditch monologue about how much she meant. When none of that comes, she shifts from certainty to confusion, and confusion is the first crack in her control. Did I matter at all? Was he pretending this whole time? Is he over me already? Stillness sends a message louder than any text. I don't need to prove myself to you. I've already proven it to me. That right there, that's authority. Stoic philosophy behind it. Marcus Aurelius said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Your silence doesn't mean you're in pain. It means you're done overestimating her. Worthwhile underestimating your own, you are no longer seeking to be understood. You are seeking to understand yourself. Result of this shift, she'll pretend not to notice at first. She act unfazed. But silence isn't something people forget. It lingers. It makes people imagine, and in the vacuum of your stillness, her imagination becomes your loudest voice. Stillness, she whisper in her mind, why isn't he chasing me? That question, that's how the power begins to shift. Inner reflection break. If you're watching this right now, pause and reflect. How many times did you react emotionally when stillness would have done more damage? Comment below. My stillness is my strength. And mean it. Shift 2. Control the narrative. Let's move forward. When she walked away, she believed she had the last word. She crafted a story about you in her head. He was too emotional. He couldn't handle me. He was needy. She expected that story to remain true. But when you go silent, when you don't chase, don't explain, don't clarify, something radical happens. She's left alone with the story she created, and it starts falling apart. The mind can't stand an incomplete story psychologically. You crave closure. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. Our minds fixate on unfinished tasks more than completed ones. When you refuse to defend yourself, refuse to explain your side, and walk away without performance, it creates an open loop in her head. Was I wrong about him? Why didn't he say anything? Is this strength or indifference? Suddenly she's not so sure. You flip the narrative. Don't clarify. Don't explain. Here's the trap. You want her to know you cared. You want her to understand. You weren't weak. You want to make her see the real you. But if she didn't see it when you were all in, she won't see it just because you typed a perfect paragraph. Let her wonder. Let her stay confused. Let the silence press down on her, and slowly she rewrite the narrative on her own. Stoic application, Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You react with stillness. You rewrite the narrative without writing a word. You let time and silence do what begging never could. Reality check. Most men waste weeks trying to be understood, trying to correct how she sees them. But a king doesn't correct the whispers of peasants. He builds a kingdom so loud no one can deny him. Be silent. Be focused. Be undeniable. Comment below. I control the narrative through silence. Shift 3. Absence creates presence. Now here's the paradox. That breaks her. the less she sees you, the more she feels you. Let me say that again. Your absence will create your most powerful presence. Most men think presence means staying visible. They like her photos. They post subtly on purpose. They check her stories. They text random memories. They think that staying visible keeps them relevant, but all it does, removes the mystery, shows her she still has access, confirms she's still the center of your mind. Absence triggers scarcity. Scarcity equals value. When something is always there, it gets taken for granted. When it disappears without explanation, it becomes unforgettable. She hears that old playlist suddenly. It hurts. She sees that restaurant, you're not there. She hears a joke. You're not laughing. The places you used to fill are now echoes, and echoes echo louder when they come. From silence, mental vacuum principle, the mind hates blank spaces. So when you leave and you don't explain, you don't reappear, she starts filling in the blanks. And nothing haunts a heart more than a blank which she can't color in. You didn't just walk away. You left her in a room full of memories she thought she owned. But now they belong to your silence. Stoic reflection Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Every moment you spend trying to be seen is a moment wasted in the shadows of someone else's validation. Reclaim that time.